Well, it's time for Better Retirement on Better Living with Citizen Advisory Group. Kevin's here today. We're going to talk about survivor benefits. And when you say survivor benefits, I'm assuming, which is maybe not a good idea, that it's Social Security.
Yeah, so we're talking about Social Security. There's three basic types of Social Security benefits. We have the retirement benefit, which is what you're entitled to off of your work history. But then there's the spousal benefit, which we talked about that just a few weeks ago. Today we're going to focus on this survivor benefit, which is what you might be eligible to collect off of a deceased spouse.
So let's say it's a tragic situation and my spouse dies at, I'm 55.
Okay.
What happens then? Is it too early for me to do anything at that point?
Yeah, it is, unless there's some minor children in the home.
Okay.
So the survivor benefit, you're first eligible to start collecting at the age of 60.
All right.
And really, one of the important considerations for a married couple when they're considering when will be the right time for me to file, really we should consider what the survivor impact is going to be while we're making that decision. So basically, if you're a married couple, and the higher earning spouse, for example, if that spouse decides to file for their benefit early and takes a reduced amount, that basically is what the survivor benefit will be left for the survivor. As opposed to if they make a decision to hold off and collect their benefit and get a larger benefit, that will then be what the survivor benefit is. So that needs to be a consideration as to when is there going to be the right time to file for benefits.
It makes sense that we ought to think about that, especially if you're talking about the spouse that makes more money.
Yes. Yes, so that is really one of the important planning decisions when we look at a couple is who is the higher earner, and if there's a way for us to delay their filing, thus getting them a larger benefit amount, that really does create some protection to whoever the survivor might be.
Let's look at an example, and so that we can kind of map this out.
Yes.
I like to see it in front of me. So age 66.
Yep, so we have, and this is, when we talk about these cases, they're real live examples. So this is actually someone I met with just a couple weeks back, and she was a widow, and she was 65 years old, and her situation was she was a worker herself, so she is entitled to a retirement benefit, and she hadn't started taking it yet. But as a widow, she's also entitled to this survivor benefit. And she really wasn't considering that when she was looking at her options. So at the age of 66, her retirement benefit is this $2,361 a month.
Okay.
Which is a nice chunk of change. So she was a pretty good earner in her lifetime, which is $28,000 for the year. And she pretty much had decided that she wasn't going to take this benefit. She was going to hold off until age 70 and take advantage of the delaying of her Social Security.
Which is a much nicer number.
Yep, so she's going to get to $3,100 should she wait. But what she was missing is that she's entitled to this survivor benefit number right now, which is the $2,454 a month. So she almost did nothing and collected no benefits from Social Security from age 66 to 70. So we were able to show her how she can start taking this survivor benefit now, which is almost $30,000 a year, and then still switch at age 70 to her own retirement benefit and still qualify for that $3,117.
So here's my question. Is she getting both those benefits at the same time?
So you can only collect one benefit type at a time, but by coordinating them together, she can start by taking this survivor and collect roughly $30,000 a year, and then switch at age 70 back to her own retirement benefit, which is now $37,000 a year.
That makes so much sense, and if she didn't know that, I mean, that's a lot of money that she's missing out on.
So in her situation, that's exactly what the case was, that she didn't know that, and she almost passed up on this $117,000 over the next 4 years. That's going to have no consequences to her for the rest of her lifetime.
Let's look at that. We have a slide that shows the dollars in total because that's how we like to think. We like to think about it in the
So I think a lot of people think, well, in order for me to get more, I'm going to have to wait. Well, that's not always the case. So in her case, she's going to get $117,000 of this survivor benefit right now, right off on the front side of everything. And so that's $120,000 that she can take and spend and use and do whatever she wants with. So huge benefits, and you don't always have to wait to get some extra benefits.
That is a great benefit. I think this is just another example, though, of how confusing Social Security is and the benefits and when you can take them and when you should take them.
Yes, so I kind of jokingly say that there's roughly 20,000 rules to the Social Security filing strategies that are followed with 20,000 other examples of how those rules should be applied. So there certainly is a lot to it. So what we do to try to help educate individuals out there is we host educational events on a monthly basis. So we have a couple of those coming up. So March 31st, we're going to be presenting at Mancy's Italian.
Yes.
We do a presentation that lasts just a little over an hour. We kind of walk through some of these different strategies for folks. So that's coming up on March 31st, then we have another one on April 7th.
That one's at Rockwell's. Now, I know from talking to you guys before that, first of all, RSVP is required because there's dinner. And these are both great places to eat. So for that matter, it's a good thing to go to. But you also really need to get that RSVP in early because they fill up.
Yeah, so the events do fill up quickly. Typically, we do run a wait list for those events.
Okay.
So the sooner you can call and get RSVP, the sooner we'll be able to get you in and get you some good information and a great meal. Now,
if for some reason somebody can't come to one of those events, you guys are certainly always available to talk to somebody one-on-one. And then you also have a book, a pamphlet that you have available. People can look through.
So we have a guide that talks about some of the 5 critical areas of Social Security planning, and that's all available on our website, including a full list of the different events that we hold. The website is citizenadvisory.com, and you can always just pick up the phone and give us a call, so 419-872-0204 for that. But we're out there to help. You know, we have a real passion for the retirement planning side of things, and Social Security planning is such a huge component of that. So I would really encourage people to take advantage of these events and get some information.
It's one thing I really appreciate about what you guys do is that you really are about educating people, whether it's about Social Security or Medicare or whatever it is that's going to affect your retirement. You guys do a great job of educating people in our area.
We have a real passion for that, and we enjoy it. So.
Well, if you want to go to one of these seminars, you should go to citizenadvisorygroup.com and get your RSVP made today, or get your guide, the 5 critical mistakes that are made when dealing with Social Security. We'll be right back.